Hi, hello, my guys. Welcome to another episode of the Microwave Kick. Yes, we had a fantastic weekend of football. The likes of Manchester United lost their game. Chelsea also lost their game. Liverpool surprisingly lost their game as well. So many teams actually lost. Even Real Madrid actually lost their games as well. So it was a very, very huge, surprising weekend of football. So let's break it down. Let's have this conversation concerning this weekend games, and let's have some talking points concerning the Arsenal game, the Chelsea's game, the Manchester United game, the Liverpool's game, and all of that. So if you're new to this channel, hit the like button, please subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, join this family, and let's get straight into it. Now, the Premier League started with an early kickoff for Manchester United against Brentford. It was an interesting match in the sense that Manchester United needed to build on that win of winning against Chelsea the previous week, which Chelsea had some series of red cards and all of that. Now, Manchester United were supposed to build on that winning mentality, on riding on against Brentford. They were supposed to win that game because already you have beaten a big team in the Premier League. Already you have that confidence already. You need to go into the next game with so much confidence, to win. And it was a very interesting one because Manchester United did something very surprising, but it's not a huge surprise because this is Manchester United. They are used to losing games these days, and it's a very shocking one at that. So we are going to be having this conversation of Manchester United. We're going to be having conversation Chelsea, Liverpool, and those big teams that actually lost today. So let's have this talking points, and also Arsenal's game as well against Newcastle, which was a very, very huge talking point concerning VAR and all of that. So if you're new to this channel, like I said, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. So we're having a guest here who I think is a Chelsea fan and wants to actually break down some of the huge talking points concerning this weekend's game. The Chelsea's loss to Brighton, which was a very, very huge surprise because trust me, with the form of Chelsea in the previous game, Chelsea were supposed to do everything possible, to win this game. But surprisingly, Chelsea got another red card and lost that game, which was a very, very huge shock to all Chelsea fans because Chelsea were playing at home at the time. So let's have these conversations concerning that. So um, I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Probably
I can
hit
see you.
your camera so we could
Okay.
see you if you could hear me. All right,
Okay.
cool. So first of all, well, let's start with Chelsea because to you, you're a Chelsea fan and you have a lot to say concerning the Chelsea team and everything that happened during the weekend, which was a huge, huge shock um, for all Chelsea fans as well because Chelsea was supposed to win that game. Chelsea had everything to win that game. And like Brighton has always been that team against Chelsea that's always giving Chelsea a huge run for their money in the last couple of games. So to you as a Chelsea fan, was that result a huge shock for you? And do you think Chelsea should have done better in the issue of managing red cards and the whole Maresca management thing when it comes to changing players and doing substitutions? What do you think about that game?
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's very loud
Okay,
and clear.
that's okay. Then that's fine. So, as a Chelsea fan, to be honest, there's certain things. Even though at most you look at it from the angle of this Brighton has been the consistent team in recent times, giving us issue. But there's one thing I believe in football. This is Stamford Bridge. You can't just be telling yourself by a team that you are bigger than every year that they always give us problem at your own home. You can't accept that. Then, moreover, the squads Chelsea put out there compared to the squad that Brighton put out there, they're not to be compared. Weberg has not scored for like months. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Then,
Yeah, yeah.
in terms of managing red cards, this has happening. It started happening towards the end of last season when Jackson had to do it against Newcastle. You have to lose at the Club World Cup, one way or the other. I think some people call it blessing in disguise because Jackson had to go for us to bring in Joao Pedro, if you could remember. For
Yeah.
that red card, Joao Pedro had to fill in. So we've not been managing that consistency of red card. Then it now happened twice in a row. No. AC Milan won yesterday. They got a red card to a Napoli team, not like Brighton. Brighton and Napoli cannot be compared. So we are the AC Milan. Brighton is the Napoli, but they could still even manage that situation from the 56 minutes or 68 minutes till the end of the game. This is AC Milan that are not even that much informed. So in terms of managing red card, I don't know what is happening. Like I will always say, we don't have that commanding defense again. When you see one player stand out like Nemanja Vidic, that today nothing is happening. We rather die with this football. We rather die with this happening than a goal should entered. Mourinho era. I think we need a leader at that defense. So I was just going to you make me know something when I get to know about all this. Like our oldest player is Tosin 27.
Yeah.
Like when I'm not just saying it because I'll be watching football for long, but at 29, it's like you are just starting feeder team in AC Milan. Then at 29, it's like
When you
you
have
are
the
still
likes of Maldini, the likes of
Maldini to look up to.
exactly.
You have big names to look up to. So at 29, you are starting your career. Del Piero is playing. Ibrahimovic is watching. David Trezeguet is striking. I know what I'm saying. But these days, Fofana will just do this. Nobody to call him in order. They say Chelsea Parma era started when, if you could remember, when three players were arguing about penalty. Madueke, Jackson. That's when Parma took up. Like, look at three boys. Nobody to even coordinate them. There was no John Terry to say, Lampard, who, like, Drogba was asking to be a highest goal scorer. Lampard took penalty from Drogba, if you could remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Because you remember the match.
Yeah.
What was that audacity? What was that? No, this hunger is not in these boys. This hunger, like the Club World Cup made us just shy away from the truth. Chelsea were not at that level that we placed them. That Club World Cup, Chelsea is good at competition. Chelsea is good at not league now. In competition, Chelsea will win you title. Chelsea can win you the FA Cup. Chelsea can win you the Champions League. Chelsea can win you the Europa. Chelsea can, because that one match magic, Chelsea is always there. Because we might just come from corner. We might just come for individual brilliance. It will just happen. So this team need real defense. We need leader. I'm saying it. If we start from the goalkeeper to the defense to the midfield, we need leaders. We can't keep on like this.
I think you are very right, but because trust me, like I was having this conversation with you last night concerning the quality of footballers or the quality of players you have these days in football. It's not like it used to be back in the days. These days you have soft players. You have players who are very robotic. You have players who must play according to plan. You have players who are controlled by formations.
Formations, yeah.
So that's
the coach say don't overlap. You don't overlap. Even you have the ability.
Yeah, exactly. So it has reduced players' individual brilliance. It has reduced players' free will to actually do what they actually want to do on the field of play. Look at the likes of Sancho when he came to Chelsea. You are a winger, for Christ's sake. You know how to take on players, but most of the time he actually returns back to start possession again. So all these things actually affect a player. Now we are in a huge sense concerning the game against Manchester United and the game against Brighton. Chelsea actually got a red card. Now there's a lot of there's a cloud of indiscipline actually hanging on Chelsea right now, because this is not the first time. Last season, it was very, very close for Chelsea not to qualify for the Champions League. With the red card with Nicolas Jackson at Newcastle, if you can remember very well. So this huge indiscipline has been clouded over Chelsea in the recent time, and it is happening again this season. 6 games already and 2 losses. That is a very, very huge. It's a bad record. Last season
there's a draw. There's a draw.
Yes, there's a draw. Chelsea started last season with Manchester City. We know it's a big game. Manchester City were defending champions at the time. Chelsea lost that game. That was the opening game for last season. That
Opening
was
game of the
2-1,
season.
2-1
Yes.
loss. The next game, Chelsea went ahead to beat Wolves. I think it was 6-2 victory against
Yes.
Wolves. That was a statement. And from there, Chelsea started that confidence, started building at that time. But you cannot start the Premier League with how many games and losing this and drawing. It's a very, very huge confidence. It actually destroys the team confidence. And these red cards is not the best way to start the Premier League. Now, let's talk about the red card incident. Enzo Maresca with against Manchester United, he made some silly changes.
Very
This time
silly.
against Brighton, he made another silly change. What do you think about Enzo Maresca ways of handling red card situations?
Let me not just say, oh, because everybody's criticizing him in terms of, hey, he's not the man to take you forward, he's a bad coach. But this guy does not handle red card. Like the Manchester United game in particular, let me speak on that. I was off taking players in the. A good coach will try to endure that first half. At least a good coach find a way to play, or at most made only one changes in the first half. But bringing out 3 substitutions, I don't know. The Palmer own was an injury, but bringing out 3 substitutions once showed the level of panic he had. Just one red card in the 60 minutes. To me, at that point, it's like you guys are still 11-11. You know why? Everybody still has a fresh legs. Everybody had a fresh legs as of 6-8 minutes. There's nothing you want to tell me. Everybody. So it was so easier to defend the first half. Coming back in the second half with maybe then when you make the 3 changes, it will be understandable. So at Manchester United, he messed up. So getting it again in terms of Brighton, Maresca didn't do it. He didn't do it at all. He didn't do it. I just don't know what. I don't know because. So somebody said something in one comment section. It looks like a joke, but to be realistic, you have to look at it from that angle. You say maybe we start training in Cobhams with 10 senior player, then 11 under 21 to see whether we can meet up. That's how our training session should be going every day now. 10 senior player to under 21 as well.
To me, I think Enzo Maresca's level of coaching is not at the level which Chelsea fans actually rate him.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Yes, because against Leicester, when he was at Leicester City, he spent 1 full season at Leicester City. To me, 1 full season, no matter how long you've been as an assistant coach, to me, 1 full season is not enough to gather too much experience when it comes to coaching. So you cannot overrate Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca, yes, he won the Club World Cup. I agree with you. Yes, winning the Club World Cup is not an easy feat. I will give him credit for that. Qualified Chelsea to the Champions League. Chelsea has not been in the Champions League for like 2 seasons.
2 years. 2 seasons.
We give him credit for that. Chelsea won the Conference League. Chelsea Chelsea needed to win that Conference League because it would have been a huge shame for Chelsea not to win the Conference League, going by the fact that Chelsea is the best team in that competition. And when it comes to squad value, Chelsea flaws every other team.
So there was no way we could have won that.
Chelsea would not win the Conference League. So if you want to look at Enzo Maresca, rating him too highly with only at that point make him feel like he has arrived. Maresca is still a work in progress. Maresca is still learning the trade.
Let's be frank. Thank you.
So,
Thank you. You are hitting the point.
You can blame him all along. I agree, but he also needs to be blamed. There's a way you learn your mistakes from your previous game, and Arteta did it. Arteta learned his mistake against Manchester City. If you look this last match against Newcastle, he put in
he put in everybody.
Yes. He started
and the changes showed.
Exactly. And when it was time for him to make that changes, he made the changes very well. And he brought in
Merino
the team
came in
and won the game.
Merino won the game.
Yes. So Maresca also needs to take the blame. In as much as we don't want to rate him too much, he has so much that he didn't do well. Now, you made a mistake against Manchester United. You did things that you were not supposed to do, making those changes in a panic mood. What are you supposed to do in this The same situation happened against Brighton because it was a red card situation. What are you supposed to do against Brighton? Okay, you know that against Manchester United, the mistake you made actually caused Chelsea to concede 2 goals. Against Brighton, you still make the same mistake. So why are you not learning from your mistake? If you as a coach cannot learn from your mistake, would your player learn from their mistakes? That is the thing. What are you teaching your players? Are you teaching your players to be scared to attack, or to be scared to keep a low block, or to be scared to be very compact against a team because you got a red card? So Maresca also has a very big issue and has to learn from those mistakes, because you cannot repeat the same mistake in less than 2 weeks or in less than 1 week. You repeat the same mistake. That is not how you should be. So Chelsea actually messed up big time, in that game. I think that game should have been a game that you remember Chelsea of back in the days.
Yes,
even with red card, Chelsea beat Barcelona.
It's not even good to show.
Yes,
the opponent will get tired.
The Mourinho Chelsea, the whichever version of Chelsea,
whichever version of Chelsea. Is it the Conte Chelsea? The absolutely block diamond midfield Chelsea? No, never.
Chelsea defense is very, very compact, and I was very, very shocked. Look at the quality of defense Chelsea have these days. Chalobah, Achipong, Tosin.
If I ask you tell me that who is your best?
These guys are not close to Carvalho. These guys are not close.
They are
to
not
Alex.
close to. They are not.
These guys are not close to Cahill. They were not close to him. So I don't know the level. None of these guys are close to David Luiz
at all.
Even Rudiger.
We keep picking every week. You hear a Chelsea fan that Chalobah is our best. Tomorrow, Tosin is our best. Next tomorrow, Barashid is our best. Next one, Koi is our best. We don't even have that. At least when you go to Liverpool, you'll say Van Dijk with anybody. Van Dijk with this. Van Dijk with that. You keep hearing things like that. But for us, nobody. None of them is trusted. We keep test running everybody. No. We can't win the league with this defense.
I think it all boils down to the owners, because trust me, and the owners have a very, very big role to play in this whole situation. Because trust me, the owners know quite all right that this is not the level of Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea fans have to get used to the new reality of signing players or signing teams that are not up to par. But one thing about football, which I've known since I've been watching football, is that no matter how bad your striker is, no matter how not creative enough your midfielder is, your defense has to be a priority.
A very good priority. I mean,
your defense has to be a priority. Yes, Chelsea. See, for the fact that you are buying younger players in midfield, buy younger players in attack, in defense, buy experience. That experience will give the midfield so much confidence. That midfield will give the attack so much confidence. If we are keeping clean sheets in defense, and we get 10 opportunities and take one in front of one, we score, we're going to win the game. Right? Chelsea is going to win the game. So when you have a bad defense, no matter how good the attack is, it will definitely affect the defense. And that is what it is in the game today.
Yeah, because the attack will not keep scoring all the time. So the day they refuse to score, it means we concede, we lost the game.
So the defense will always keep you in the game. The defense will always be that team, that department on the pitch that will help you. As a title winning side, I'm not saying Chelsea are going to win the title anytime soon. To me, it's not possible in the next 3 years. It's not possible. With the way Chelsea is right now,
the way Chelsea is, let's 2 years.
Now let's take a look at teams that have won the league. Look at last season. You have the likes of Van Dijk and Konate, very solid defense. Look at back in the days. You have Terry, Carvalho, those guys
Ferdinand
Manchester City said that won the league recently. You have the like of Ruben Diaz, who was very, very good.
Very solid, yes, very solid Laporte, yeah.
Experience in defense. But these days you have soft bodies in defense, and expect to win games. Next match, Chalobah might not be available because of the red card.
He's not available.
Achipong, probably Tosin might be back, or Fofana is injured as well, or Badashili? Are Chelsea going to play Achipong and Badashili against the next opponent? So there's a whole lot of problem.
Liverpool. We are playing Liverpool. So let's start building that reality from Monday before Sunday.
It's a very, very huge one. It's a very, very huge problem for Chelsea currently. Now, it was not only Chelsea that played at the weekend. Let's talk about Manchester United. Now, Manchester United started the weekend's game, and Manchester United started with Brentford. Manchester United, as I was saying in the intro, Manchester United against Brentford was a game for Manchester United to pick up that confidence against this Brighton side and this Brentford side. Brentford this season is not like Brentford last season. Brentford last season were a very, very good side. They have the likes of Mbeumo, they have the likes of Wissa, they have good players, they have Noland in midfield. So they're a better side last season than this season. Now, for Manchester United, the inconsistency about this club is too much. Manchester United will always do something that will remind their fans that this is not the club, this is not the level where the club is that it was back in the days. Now, I think Ruben Amorim should have done better in his selection or with the way he played against Brentford. What do you think Ruben Amorim actually did wrong against Brentford? For Chelsea, probably he did right, or maybe he didn't do right. Chelsea, lost the game against Manchester United. Now, for Ruben Amorim against Brentford, what do you think he did wrong that they were supposed to do? What do you think the problem of Manchester United was in that particular game that they're supposed to, win that game?
To me, I would just see it as Manchester United just have to win against Chelsea. They have to put a statement because Chelsea is a big club, but the problem still continues. The formation that man is playing, it cannot work in that club.
Everybody has been talking about Manchester United defense, Manchester United formation, but every club understands, or every club has a particular way of playing. Now, for Ruben Amorim, which he has been very, very stubborn about how he wants to play football, I think it's time for him to understand the fact that his time is ticking at Manchester United, and with little or no time from now, he might be sacked. Look at the game against Manchester United has not won 2 games in a row against Ruben Amorim. For a very long time, Manchester United has not won 2 games in a row, and that is a very, very sad reality for Manchester United fans, and they need to come to the reality. I'm going to pick out the mistakes against Brentford. Against Brentford, the defense of Manchester United put them into a big, big problem. There was a long ball. See, you know how Brentford used to play normally. Brentford would keep a low block and probably attack you on the counter-attack. They did that against Chelsea. Against Chelsea, Brentford kept a low block. Chelsea started the game very well. Okay? Brentford kept a low block. And one long pass actually splits the defense against Chelsea. And they scored the first goal against Chelsea. This is exactly the same thing they did against Manchester United. Kudos to their Brentford coach, Keith Andrews, or what's his name. One long pass from Henderson or so splits the Manchester United defense, and Manchester United and Brentford got the first goal from Igor Thiago. Now, Manchester United defense has been a very, very huge problem this season. And I will explain. The way the Manchester United defense is actually set up, it's set up like a V or like a diamond, three at the back, which is a very huge problem and is easily exploited in the Premier League. This is what Manchester United fans have been singing to Ruben Amorim's ear, that see, your defense or your level of formation or how you actually place your team has been a problem, or how you actually set up your team has been a problem for Ruben Amorim, and he keeps on doing the same thing. If you watch the game against Manchester City, majority of the Manchester United defenders followed Erling Haaland into the Manchester City's half. All right. Now, this same game also, and they conceded a goal in that match. This same thing happened again against Brentford. majority the Thiago drew two defenders to himself, and one long ball actually splits the Manchester United defense and cuts them open. And that was how Manchester United conceded that goal. You cannot continue doing schoolboy mistakes or doing silly errors and expect to go far. Manchester United defense are in total shambles. To me, I would never rate Delete. To me, Delete, Yedinoro, are not the type of defenders that would actually command a name on the market. They are not the type of defenders that will give you that commanding presence in defense. So Manchester United has a big problem in defense. In midfield, you are restricting Bruno Fernandes too much to being like a driver in that midfield, restricting him too much to be like a number 8 in that midfield. And these guys perform very well at the attacking front of the midfield. The more you keep doing this, the more you keep restricting his creativity, towards goal, and that is too much for a player like him, because Bruno Fernandes, I know in 10 games he can give you 5 assists or 4 assists in 10 games. That is how creative he is in front of goal. So Ruben Amorim has done things that Manchester United fans are upset about. He has shown that he's not ready to change. He has shown that he's not ready to change. He has shown that he's not the kind of manager that can coach Manchester United. And the earlier he changes his formation, the earlier he changes the way he wants to play, the better for him. Look at how they considered the last goal. He put Mbeumo at right wing back. You are chasing a game, you restrict one of your most creative players, you put him at right wing back, and you bring in Mason Mount to play at the attacking front or to play on the wings. And that alone actually reduces Manchester United chances of winning that game. So to me, I think Ruben Amorim has to know that the time is ticking for him, and he has to do something better for him, to remain at Manchester United. That game, Manchester United does not deserve to lose that game as a club that they are, the reputation of the club that they are. But we all know Manchester United are never consistent. The game against Fulham, they scored first and they were pegged back. It was the only positive thing to me in that game was Sesko's goal. Sesko's goal in that game was the only positive thing, for Manchester United. At least their striker has been on this. He has scored a goal. He's on the score sheet. He can build his confidence. That is, to me, that's the only positive thing to me in that game. So trust me, Ruben Amorim messed up again, and it is high time he has to start taking corrections and know that for a fact that, see, this is Manchester United, not Sporting. The pressure of Manchester United is bigger than Sporting, and the more he keeps doing what he's doing, the worse it will get for him. So that is what it is. Hello, SSB 28. So that is what it is for Manchester United game. So let me know what you think concerning Manchester United game in the comment section. Let me know what you think concerning the game against Brentford. What mistakes did Manchester United made, and what would they have done better for that game, for Manchester United not losing that game? A whole lot of things happened in the weekend. A whole lot of things happened in the weekend. Arsenal won their games. Big games, big teams actually lost their game. Liverpool lost their game. Chelsea lost their game, which was spoken about Chelsea already. Real Madrid lost their game. Big teams lost their game. But one team that did very, very well was Arsenal. So let me know what you think about Manchester United, which we just finished talking about. To me, I think it is high time Manchester United needs to make a change. I saw an article concerning Ruben Amorim, which says that he might be sacked, or they're probably Manchester United owners are waiting for, November 1st to sack him or so because of the amount of compensation he might get paid. I don't know if that is true, but I think Ruben Amorim is not at the level to coach Manchester United. Manchester United Manchester United cannot follow the trend of coaches, of young coaches currently right now, because a whole lot of things need to be changed in that club. See, some coaches are very, very good when it comes to management. Some coaches can change a whole lot in a club. Now, when it comes to I think the Tottenham coach is a better coach than Ruben Amorim, because this guy understands the Premier League already. Now look at the owners. The owners assigning Premier League proven players like Mbeumo, like Kunya and the rest. So what is the essence of probably getting a coach who has no experience when it comes to, that Ruben Amorim has only 3 to 4 seasons experience as a top 5 coach, and that might actually be a problem also. Let me read some comments coming from SS2B28. He said, let Amorim be sacked. We can spend hours talking about Manchester United and dissecting the club, and we still won't save them, and it still won't save them. Radnick said open heart surgery and everyone got mad. Manchester United should go get midfielders, and that's the fact. Ralf Rangnick is a very experienced sporting director. To me, I think he wasn't supposed to even be a Manchester United coach, and I'll tell you why. When he was, I think he was a sporting director at RB Leipzig at the time. He was also a sporting director at Salzburg, the Red Bull organization. Yes, he got here and there full experiences about coaching, but to me, he was brought in when the coach was sacked at Manchester United. I've forgotten his name now. The former Manchester United player that got sacked at Manchester United, and he was brought in as a temporary coach. He saw a lot concerning that club. Even Jose Mourinho said a whole lot about Manchester United. Manchester United is not that club right now, because since Jose Mourinho, Manchester United has not gotten up to the level. Imagine the squad that Jose Mourinho took. Imagine the squad that Jose Mourinho took to finish second in the Premier League. Imagine the squad that Jose Mourinho took, to win the Europa League. Manchester United has not gotten anywhere close to that level of players, or anywhere close to that coaching level of Jose Mourinho right now in Manchester United. Every other coach who has been at Manchester United at that time till now has not gotten close to that level. Look at where Manchester United, a club that Manchester United finished last season. When Chelsea finished 10th in the Premier League under Jose Mourinho, Jose Mourinho was sacked. The next season, Chelsea won the Premier League with Antonio Conte. That is how you bounce back when it comes to management. That is how you bounce back as a club. So a whole lot of things is actually happened and went wrong with Manchester United. So let's not dwell too much concerning Manchester United. Let's dissect and let's talk about another thing. There's a whole lot going on right now at Manchester United that needs to be checked. If not, this season might be another season Manchester United might finish 15th as well again. So let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool lost their game against Crystal Palace. Now, we're not going to talk too much about Liverpool because they actually started this season very well. Liverpool this season has been that team. I've not really been 100% convinced about Liverpool, and I'll tell you why. Liverpool this season, majority of their games have been late winners, and that late winners has to do with the will, has to do with the motivation, has to do with the coach, and also has to do with the. No, I've not heard about Chiesa's news. What's up with Chiesa? Yeah, Chiesa is not traveling for the UCL game. He should be traveling. I think they removed one player who got injured or something for the Liverpool's game, and Chiesa was added to the Champions League squad. So I don't know why he was not added. Now, Chiesa is one of those players that has actually impressed me a lot this season. Going by how Chiesa was last season for Liverpool, he was not giving time, he was not giving gameplay, he was not giving minutes at all, he was always on the bench. This season, he has shown that, yes, he can be part of the team. He has shown, look at Liverpool fans being angry right now that he's not traveling with the squad. And that is another thing. When as a player, when you're being sidelined at some point and you have to force your way back into the team, you do that with your performance. And he has shown with his performance. He didn't murmur, he didn't grumble. He has shown that he's that player that wants to get back into the manager's squad, and he has done well. Now, Liverpool majority of this season that just started have been late goals upon late goals upon late goals. It started in their first game against Crystal Palace, against Bournemouth. They went they went a goal down. I think they went 2 goals down or a goal down. They came back and they won that game in the last 2-3 minutes of that game or 5 minutes of that game when Chiesa scored. I think Salah also scored in that game. They came back. The second game against Newcastle, they did the same thing. Another late goals, they did the same thing. Now, they might be doing like this and go ahead to win the league again. So never underrate Liverpool, because last season, these guys almost swept it all. They were winning games for fun last season. It happened also against Burnley. Last minute penalty for Salah, they won the game. So Liverpool has impressed in the sense that they can come back in the last minute. They did that also in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. They have impressed that they can come back in the game and also win games. That is Liverpool for you. So this season for Liverpool, there's always one team. If you notice in the Premier League in the last couple of years, there's always one team in the Premier League that is very, very difficult to play against when it comes to your team. Now, Liverpool this season has been Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace and Liverpool has been that team that have played themselves a lot this season. They did that in the Community Shield. Crystal Palace beat Liverpool in, I think, on penalties. Liverpool lost that game also. So this is the team that has known Liverpool. They have studied Liverpool, and kudos has to go to Oliver Glasner. That is a very, very good coach. A very underrated coach in the Premier League who has done a lot for Crystal Palace. The coach actually threatened Crystal Palace sporting director Steve Walsh. I think Steve Parish, that's his name. He threatened him that if you let McGay leave, I'm going to resign. And he was respected. He was kept in the club. That is how powerful that guy is at the club, because they know his value. You cannot get that kind of manager right now on the market easily. You have to pay a huge sum of amount to buy them out of their contract. So that guy has done well since he came to Liverpool, since he came to Crystal Palace. Imagine losing the likes of Eberechi Eze and you still go unbeaten in the first 5 to 6 games in the Premier League. You go unbeaten. And you lost your best player last season, Eberechi Eze, and you still went unbeaten. That has to show it's the only club. Crystal Palace are the only club in the Premier League to go unbeaten currently. Liverpool has lost, Chelsea, Arsenal, every other team has lost. Liverpool are the only team in the Premier League not to have lost. Crystal Palace are the only team in the Premier League not to have lost again. It was always going to be a difficult game for them against Liverpool. Crystal Palace against Liverpool is that game that you don't know where it's going to swing to, and it is always going to be difficult for Liverpool. So kudos to Oliver Glasner, who has done so well for Crystal Palace and been able to beat the defending champion of the Premier League, and also the most informed team in Europe. You know, that is a very, very fantastic feat for Oliver Glasner and for Crystal Palace. Let me read some comments coming from SS2B. He said, do you think Liverpool buying superstar was a mistake? To me, I think after winning the Premier League, you would want to be more ambitious. Now, for Chelsea, when they won let me dissect a bit. When Chelsea won the Club World Cup, they were supposed to be more ambitious, going into the market, getting experience to actually help, push the ambition further this season to actually go do one better. Now, for Liverpool, if you remember very well, in the last couple of seasons, they've not actually bought players. They've not actually bought those superstars in the last couple of seasons, because I think last season the previous season they didn't spend more. They only bought, I think, Gakpo or somebody else when they lost some players. They have the money. Now, they just won the Premier League. Now, if you notice very well, to defend the Premier League, it is very, very difficult in the next season. Now, they need to go get players. Now, remember, they lost Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. And they know that for the fact that we won the Premier League last season, we had some issues in the Premier League in terms of creativity. Most of the goals and the assists came from Mohamed Salah. Yes, they have players like Gakpo. They have players like the Argentine that was bought from Brighton. The name skipped me right now. They have those players, but they don't have that creative spark in that midfield. They don't have that player that could individually win games for them when it comes to creativity if Salah is not doing it. So they needed that player, Florian Wirtz. They needed that player. That's why they went into the market and they bought Florian Wirtz. Now, you could say the amount of money they use in buying Florian Wirtz is too much. I would understand. To buy Florian Wirtz, I think for 115 million, I think he's the second most expensive player right now in the Premier League. So buying him for that amount was I would not say was too much because he did so well with Leverkusen. He took Leverkusen unbeaten in the league. So he did well. He's a player who did well. But I have issue buying players from Germany because those guys, majority of them come to the Premier League and they flop. So I'm not saying Florian Wirtz is a flop already. I'm saying it is taking too much time for him to adapt due to the fact that he was bought for that amount of money. No matter what you do, that amount that was placed on you, that price tag that you were bought for will always be pressure on you. And that is what it is for Florian Wirtz at this point because this guy was bought for 115, 220, I can't remember, 115 million, 120 million euros. He needs to deliver. The pressure will start coming on Isak very soon if he doesn't start scoring goals for fun because he has to start doing that. So, to me, I think buying superstars is not a big thing. Implementing how those superstars, making them, giving them that shape, giving them that formation, giving them that, that environment for them to thrive is what is more important. And it all boils down to Arne Slot. So Arne Slot is that coach right now that has to integrate those players. McAllister, yes, is what I'm talking about. Arne Slot is that players that has to integrate those players into a certain kind of formation that has to work. And he has to work. Alexander Isak, you cannot buy him for a world record fee or for a Premier League record fee and keep him on the bench. You have to use him. Florian Wirtz cannot be put on the bench. He has to play. And you have to find a way possible to make him play, to make him be effective for the team. Now, I noticed something with Liverpool. Liverpool are that team, the majority of their goals and assists come from Mohamed Salah. So if Mohamed Salah is not involved, in the game, there's always a problem. That's one of the reasons they bought Florian Wirtz, to be that player that can take the burden off Mohamed Salah in terms of creativity, not only goal scoring now, creativity. Mohamed Salah gives you goals and assists. But Florian Wirtz is a player that can individually win games for you like he did for Leverkusen, but it's not working at this point. He has to start, showing what he was bought for, and he has to start scoring goals. All right. Now, let me read some more comments concerning this Liverpool. Now, you said, oddly, even Wirtz was moving a lot, but if he's only guy moving, it's useless. Okay, if he's the only guy moving, he's useless. All right, I understand what you meant there. So, another comment concerning Liverpool. Do you think? Okay, you're asking me a question right now. Do you think Slot is the right coach to handle these superstars? He has dealt with Ekitike situation and now Chiesa. I think there was a situation at PSV that Slot actually dealt with. You might not say Slot is a big coach like that because majority of people do not know Slot when he was at PSV at the time. He was the same coach. I think he was the same coach who coached Madueke. I don't know if I'm correct, but he's not that coach that has this big commanding presence. But trust me, that guy is a disciplinarian. He might not show that physique or that move that, yes, he's this angry coach or something, but is due to the fact that he's a brilliant coach, he's also that coach that can handle this kind of situations. I've not heard anything in the Liverpool's dressing room that relates to the coach, apart from this Chiesa's issue with the coach not playing him. But there have not been a player to coach issue concerning Arne Slot. But I think he has everything. He has what it takes to handle the superstars. He's that coach that has delivered in his first season of playing or being a Liverpool manager. So of course, I think he has what it takes to to actually do well and to handle these Liverpool superstars as well. So you said you disagree. You disagree. Okay, you said you disagree with Gravenberch. Okay, Gravenberch did well, yes. De Bruyne did well, yes. Gundogan Haaland, Firmino, Rudiger, and others were not flop, but all played in Bundesliga. Yes, you are right to say that. There are also players that didn't do well. The player that came from Leipzig, Timo Werner, that came from Leipzig to Chelsea, did not really do so well. Matis Tel is not doing so well currently right now at Tottenham Hotspur. There are players who have come from the German league that has not done well also in the Premier League. So many of them I could start naming a few, but yes, not all of them, but majority, many of them also have not done well. So it is what it is for Liverpool. Now, for Liverpool, I think they are still the Premier League favorites. I think they can still win the Premier League. I don't think that is the best thing to do. If you bench a player who was bought for a or for a Premier League record fee at the time, what you're doing to that player, you're killing the player's confidence. And that is what you're doing at the time, because you are letting this player know that you are not firing on all cylinders right now. You need to go on the bench. He cannot have confidence from the bench. So the best thing to do is don't bench him when it comes to playing these EFL games and these FA Cup games. He can pick up from those games also. The Premier League, he can as well pick up from playing. Instead of benching him, you can give him 60 minutes, you can give him 70 minutes. Make sure, as a coach, you put players around him that are not selfish too much to him. Tell Mohamed Salah, this guy has not scored. This guy is low on confidence. Give him the ball. Hand him, give him, situations or opportunities for him to score. If there's a penalty, make him take the penalty. Give him that confidence he needs, and he's going to strive. I think for him to do well in the Premier League, but he needs to start at this point. Going 7 games without a goal, without an assist for a 115 million, with 15 million amount for that 50 million, 150 million price, the pressure will be on him and it will start mounting, and it is happening right now. He said, can Isak and Ekitike play together? Yes, they can play together. Now, if you know Arne Slot very well, you would know he's a coach that doesn't play with 2 strikers. Now, the reason why I said they can play together is if only Arne Slot actually does something to tweak his formation. All right. And Ekitike, if you notice this, they're playing 2 strikers in the world of football right now is not much, in the sense that your midfield might actually suffer. So because of Arne Slot, who is very, very big on midfield overload, when it comes to midfield, how it's great, how it starts in the midfield. Look at what he did with Gravenberch, how he transformed Gravenberch style of football. You know that this guy is very, very big on midfield. To me, I think he might not want to do it, but another coach can do it and it will work. But Arne Slot is not that kind of coach that would want to play with 2 strikers, unless Ekitike plays from the wing. And Ekitike is that player that can also play from the wing, and it will affect Liverpool if he does play 2 strikers, in Liverpool. Now it affects them in the sense that, where do you play Mohamed Salah? Which formation would you use to play Mohamed Salah at that point? Because play Mohamed Salah on the wings, if you notice how Mohamed Salah plays, he drifts from the wing in and mostly play more or less like a second striker or like a striker. So to me, he might not want to do it because it might affect the team actually. And if you're playing 2 strikers, you have to probably play with a wing back. All right, if you're not playing a 4-4-2, or you're playing a 4-2-3-1, or playing a 4-2-1 or 4-3-1-2. So do you play Mohamed Salah as a number 10? So that is one of the reasons why I think he might not want to do it. The only way he would do it is if he plays Ekitike from the wings, and it is possible. Ekitike is a player that is very versatile, and he can also play from the wing. So that is what I think about playing both Ekitike and Alexander Isak. But to me, I think Ekitike was an opportunity on the market, in the sense that Liverpool wanted Isak from Newcastle. Newcastle said they were not selling. That was the reason why they went ahead to buy Newcastle's targets in Ekitike from the German league, Eintracht Frankfurt. And that was, well, there was at that point, Isak started forcing his way, started going on strike and say he doesn't want to play for Newcastle again. That was why Liverpool saw that as an opportunity not to miss. And they went into the market and they bought his Ekitike. So it is what it is in football. That is the world of football we live in right now. So that's all about Liverpool. And I think for the fact that they lost that game still doesn't mean they can't win the league. They can still win the league because they have everything and what it takes. They have the defense, they have the midfield, they have the attack to win the league. So now to Arsenal, everybody lost their game. When I mean everybody, I mean big six and big teams in the Premier League lost their games during the weekend. Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, but Manchester City won their game as well. Now, Arsenal won their game, but it came with a very, very controversial one. Now, for Arsenal, they went a goal down. Before they went a goal down, there was a problem. There was a controversial call from the referee. Now, there was a big penalty call, for Arsenal and Victor Gyökeres against Pope. Now, if you watch my video, I explained that penalty issue. Now, I want to hear your own issue, your own call. To you, was that a penalty or not? Because that was the biggest talking point at the weekend. And let me know what you think first. But to me, I think Arsenal actually did well coming back into the game and winning that game. I think Arsenal actually showcased that they're a very, very good team. And they're a team who can win games from any situation. Arsenal are that team that this season that were better than the team that they had last season. Because last season for Arsenal, they had squad depth, yes, but what is the quality coming from the bench? I could name a few. Raheem Sterling. Would Raheem Sterling do what Eberechi Eze is doing for Arsenal now? Will Raheem Sterling do what Trossard did for Arsenal against Athletic Bilbao last week? So I think this season they've gone into the market. Kiwo was another player who came from the bench for Arsenal last season in the defense. Look at what Mosquera is doing right now at Arsenal. So I think Arsenal went into the market and bought quality in defense, and it is already helping them a lot this season. Arsenal was the biggest winners this weekend because every other team around them lost. They won. And that pushed them from 7th position to 2nd position, which is a very, very good one for them. To me, now let me explain this penalty call. Now, there was a penalty shout for Victor Gyökeres. I have always said this, that the Premier League referees are never rated in Europe or in the world like they think they should be rated. Now, if you watch Champions League finals, Europa League finals, big finals, you hardly see World Cup finals, you hardly see English referees because they are not rated. They are very, very inconsistent with their calls. They are very, very inconsistent with how they interpret laws. They are very, very inconsistent, and that is the kind of team that they have. That is the kind of way they actually do their thing. Now, if you watch the pass for Victor Gyökeres, the pass came very well, and the goalkeeper touched the ball first before he impeded Victor Gyökeres. To me, I think that was one reason that particular call was not blown. Secondly, the way Victor Gyökeres fell, it felt like he's drawing the foul. It felt like a dive. It felt like he was forcing the hand of the referee. So I think that was one of the reasons why the referee did not actually blow that call. All right. I think to me, it was a penalty and not a penalty. But it was more of not a penalty than a penalty. The way he felt like he was forcing the referee to blow. So it happens. It happens. So to me, the referee was right and also not right. But they are too inconsistent. They are too inconsistent, with the way they do their things. Arsenal would challenge for the Premier League this season. They're a team that can challenge for the Premier League, and they showed it. Newcastle is not an easy place to go. Newcastle is not an easy place to go get a result. It was very difficult for Liverpool to go get a result there, you know. So now Liverpool won at the last minute of the game with Ugo Homa. Arsenal already considered a goal, but look at the changes of Arteta, and we must give kudos to Arteta because Arteta did very, very well in making those changes. Those changes were very, very important for Mikel Arteta, bringing in Merino, bringing in Odegaard, bringing in players who could actually change things for them. And he knew that Newcastle was not attacking anymore. So even if you take out the midfielder Zubimendi and bring in Odegaard, who is very, very creative up front. Now you have two attackers. You have two attacking midfielders. You have Eze, and you have Odegaard. You know, now it will be very difficult for Newcastle to actually pull out or come outside because you have two creative midfielders who can actually split the defense with one single pass. Now, he actually brought Rice back into midfield. Now, Rice would not have too much job to do or too much defending to do because at that point, Newcastle was not attacking anymore. So that was the best thing to do, and that was what he did. So that's why I said Arteta learned from his mistake. The mistake he made against Manchester City, he learned from that mistake by not starting your best side. This time he started his best side, and he also made the right decisions, you know, off the bench, and that was how he won the game. He brought in the players that could split up, you know, Newcastle's defense because Newcastle were keeping low block, and keeping a low block against Arsenal is a very dangerous thing. Coming out against Arsenal is also a very dangerous because they have fast players as well. So it was very, very good. It was very, very good decision for Mikel Arteta to bring in Odegaard. And it was that pass from Odegaard who split the defense for the first goal. And the ball was recycled. And the cross came in from Merino, who headed in. I think Merino did a very, very fantastic job with that header as well. I think it was a very, very good game. And also, we know Arsenal as that set piece. If you want to win the league, you need to get goals from anywhere. When Chelsea won the league during the time of John Terry, you could see headers from John Terry. You could see goals from the defense. You will see goals from the midfield in Frank Lampard. You will see goals in attack from Didier Drogba. That is how you win the league. You could see goals from the bench with Solomon Kalou, with Anelka, with the rest. You will see goals from the defense, from the bench also. So you need that. You know, as a club, you need that as a club to also get goals from anywhere, and that is what also Liverpool are doing. If Van Dijk doesn't score, you have goals coming from attack, you have goals coming from the bench in Chiesa and the rest. So it's a very, very good one for Arsenal. I think they are the biggest winners of the weekend who won their game. It was very, very important for them to win that game because it was a confident booster for them. Every other team around them have lost. It was an opportunity for them to win, and that was what they did. They won the game. So now you said another comment. You said Rice, Odegaard, and Eze work a lot. Yes, I agree. Odegaard reminded me of Ozil with that type of passes, fantastic passes he did, and him playing deep line playmaker made sense. Yes, he might be used in that position sometime this season. He might be used. You need versatile players to grind out result for you, and that was what he did. So that was a very, very good one for them. So let me know what you think about Arsenal. You said Arsenal cannot go 3DM. Yes, it's not possible. So let me know what you think about that Arsenal's game. Let me know what you think about Manchester United victory, Manchester United loss. Let me know what you think about Chelsea. Chelsea's loss against Brighton. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. The pressure will start mounting on Maresca if he doesn't change that anytime soon. Let me know what you think about all of this. If you are new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. Thanks for joining me on this page. Let me tell you my pages. On Instagram, I'm MikeWay_kicks. On YouTube, MikeWay Kicks. On Facebook, MikeWay Kicks. On TikTok, MikeWayKicks_. So do well to follow me as I draw, series of contents concerning football, series of contents concerning this beautiful game of football. And like I did today, I'll be coming live here once in a while to, say a lot about the weekend games and previews and predictions. Like I always give my predictions on Fridays night or Saturday morning before the Premier League game. So do well to join me on this page and join me on this channel. Thank you for everybody who has turned up today for my life. SS2B28. I like that name. Oh. Nice one. Thank you so much for joining me on my life. Please do well to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Micway Kicks. Once you type that, you're going to see me, and I'm going to be dropping a whole lot. I also have a channel where I drop my short videos. I don't drop shorts on this channel, which is Micway Shorts on YouTube as well. I drop short videos there on my shorts. So thank you so much for everybody who has joined me on this stream. I appreciate that a whole lot. Please do well to hit the subscribe button if you have not done so. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell until I come your way again next time. I remain your boy Mike Way. Thank you so much, SS2B. Thank you to everybody who has joined me. I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers. Thank you so much.